Fabulous. Right, and we're live everywhere. Fab. Hello, everyone. How are we all doing this evening? So, why do we need to think about drought when it comes to garden care? That's what we're talking about today. Experts start as you mean to go on, start talking, and the words will come out, I promise. Yes, so experts predict drought-tolerant gardens, tongue twister, drought-tolerant gardens will become a standard feature in the UK as summers get hotter and drier, as we have witnessed this last few weeks. Climate change has made it so the classic British summer, wet and windy, we know what it's like, are becoming hotter with weeks of dry weather. So now in the summer, drought can actually be more of a common challenge for gardeners, especially in the south. So where I am. It is rather warm here today, I will say. So if my brain's muddled, as it usually is, it's the heat. It's the heat. So yes, so excellent. So drought can become a common challenge now with the change in climate. So the effects this change in temperature can have on our plants is real, and it can be extremely damaging as well. Got something under my desk. I don't know what it is. I'm kicking it. I'll find out in a minute. So yeah, it can be extremely damaging. Growing a drought-resistant garden can be a very effective way to reduce work and cost related to garden care and creating a garden that is happy and healthy, looking beautiful without needing a drop of water, which is amazing, especially during drought or just the summer, whichever, saving yourself money on water. So making your garden more drought-resistant can actually be easier than you might think. It's quite a straightforward process, which we're going to talk about in a minute. So, hello, I'll introduce myself. Hello and welcome to the Natural Gardening Podcast. I can't talk today. My name's Josie. I'm your natural gardening coach. Today we're talking about how to make your garden more drought resistant and tolerant to hotter weather coming into the summers that we have been experiencing in the last few years. So this episode has been inspired by the Natural Gardeners membership, my membership, a space for gardeners to learn how they can grow and support their gardens using natural and sustainable resources, working with what they've got, how to improve their surroundings to create a garden that will support itself and nature much more effectively. So for only $3.99 a month, you can access exclusively curated content, created and curated by myself. That works. Tongue twisters today is just ridiculous. Curated and content, including videos, blogs, articles, resources, all that sort of thing. You'll also become part of the Green Fingertips Natural Gardening Community Group as well. So it's our private members-only community on Facebook, providing support and inspiration when you need it. So it's really good. So we do Q&A sessions and live trainings and stuff in there, which is amazing. With all this, you are bound to find something to support the way that you learn best. Some people don't like live training. Some people prefer to watch things on replay if it's a video, or catch up in like an article or something they can download, like a resource or anything like that. So I've covered all bounds of where people like to learn. And I've got the on-hand support as well in there for good measure as well. So I'll say this has been inspired today's episode. This month, I think it's next week, we are doing on the 20th, we're doing a live training on a deep dive into drought-resistant gardening. So this is just touching the surface. So next week, we're going to be talking about planting and pest control. So plants that will thrive in a drought-tolerant garden, drought-resistant garden, sorry, same difference. Pest control involved in it as well. Potential problems and solutions to get ahead of the game, so you're ready for anything that could come up. And how to support your garden, how this can support your garden, the ecosystem within your garden, and nature passing through as well. Not just for like the summer months, but for long term. So today's episode is just scratching the surface. If you want to learn more, if you get to the end of here and you want to know more about it, come over and join me in the Natural Gardeners membership. The training is next Tuesday on the 20th. I think that's Tuesday. Pretty sure that's next Tuesday, 20th of June anyway, at 6 p.m. over in the membership group. So that that's available if anyone wants to join. To join the Gardeners membership, simply click. I have got it here as well, which I just put up so you can see. There we go. Down the bottom here somewhere. There we go. Yes, perfect. So click the link in the description or comments. I'll put them in the comments later. If not, go to the link that's flashing at the bottom of the screen or sliding across the bottom of the screen now. You can find out more. Perfect. So that is the inspiration for today's show. If you want to learn more, come through to membership. Okay, back to the task in hand. Let me have a drink because it is so hot today. It's about 25 degrees in this office alone. How is it where you are? Let me know in the comments. I bet you it's warm. Okay, so task in hand, drought. Drought, if left unchecked, can cause damage to the root system of your plants, killing off the ecosystem within the soil, stressing your plants as well. If killing off the root system isn't bad enough, the stress that's caused can cause your plants to stop growing, flowering, and even die off completely. Not good. So drought isn't something to laugh about in the garden at all. No messing. This does not need to happen though. This really doesn't need to happen. And here are a few tips to help you prevent this from happening in your garden. So soil care. So I've got a few today. As I say, I'll go into more detail in the membership training. So we've got soil care. Soil, if soil's in good condition, it will naturally hold more moisture and reduce the risk of plants dehydrating. It naturally does. By incorporating good amounts of organic matter, like compost, well-rotted manure, anything like that, even when you add the grass cuttings to your soil, grass cuttings, they can help to condition the soil up, improve the structure of the soil, and making it less likely to pan, so the surface goes hard, stopping water from penetrating and absorbing into the rest of the soil, and the roots picking it up. So less likely for the soil to pan and then crack. And it will also feed your plants as they go through the year, which is really important because, as I say, spring and summer, they're seasons of rapid growth. So as much as they're after water, first and foremost, they still need all the nutrients as well. So if you can feed them while you're keeping them hydrated, all the better. So soil care is important. A no-dig like gardening system is ideal for growing veg in drought conditions, if you like, in the height of summer. No-dig system is really good anyway, but it does support through drier climates as well. So this will maintain the structure of the soil, the condition of the soil as well, because you're not turning it over so much, you're not breaking it all up. So it can hold its structure, hold the moisture much more effectively. And if you have lawn areas, turning to more of a meadow lawn as well, like keeping the long grass, adding in the wildflowers and things, and also lower growing ground cover, this can help to reduce the demand of water from the soil as well. So these are really good systems to go with if you're struggling. So choosing plants which are tolerant, which will tolerate, words aren't working today. Choose plants which will tolerate the hot, dry weather. That's the next tip. So now you really don't need to be filling your garden with Mediterranean plants unless you're looking to build a Mediterranean garden, for instance. Just adding a few around your garden. We've spoken about this before when it's like saving water and things like that. Adding a few in and around your garden will actually make as much difference as filling the entire garden with them. So if you have them incorporated into your beds and borders, they will support the plants growing around them. They'll make it so you don't have to water your garden as much as well, which is really good. So in drought conditions, they will be there standing tall in bright, beautiful colours, attracting in the beneficial insects and supporting the garden, allowing the plants around them that need the water to have it. They won't be stealing it from them, so to speak. So they will make a huge difference. So how do you know which plants are suitable? If that made sense. How do you know which plants are suitable? You want to look for a few characteristics when you're looking at drought-resistant plants. So you want to look for like soft furry leaves, grey silver leaves, if you like, and narrow leaves. Those are the three sort of characteristics to kind of look for. I'll explain why. So plants with silvery or grey foliage reflect the sun rays back, so they reflect the sun off the leaves. So they will withstand extreme shifts in temperature as well and conditions. So when they reflect back, the same with the narrow leaves and same with the soft and furry leaves as well. When they reflect the light back from the sun, yeah, that made sense. It stops transpiration as well. So it stops the weather taking the water out of the leaves. So look for silvery or grey foliage to reflect the sun. Narrow leaves will reduce the transpiration, as I say. It will let the wind blow straight through the plant rather than hitting the top of the leaf and taking the moisture out of the plant, and also zapping the energy from the plant. So all the nutrients that they build up, they take up from the soil, or the light they take down and photosynthesize. The wind can just zap the energy straight out the plant quite easily, just knackers them right out. So having the thin, narrow leaves really makes the wind just go past through the plant, and they don't argue so much, if you like. So they don't take so much out of the plant, which is really important, especially when it comes to moisture. So Mediterranean plants, can't talk, Mediterranean plants, all the plants I was just talking about, like the grey silver leaves, Mediterranean style plants, if you like, they can suffer the cooler and wetter conditions. If, for example, you have a particularly wet summer or a wet autumn as well. So when I'm talking about tackling any issues that come up or getting ready for any issues, you know that the Mediterranean style plants, got no better word of describing them right now, so Mediterranean style is where I'm going. Mediterranean style plants, they don't suffer the cold very well or the wet conditions very well, whereas the other bedding plants, such as like pansies and things like that, will. But then they don't suffer the hot weather well, or like dry weather very well. So if you have the mix of the two, they support each other. So this is why it's best to go down this road, if you like. Also, I put in the notes here, choosing a plant or plants that will thrive in a wide variety of soil types. That helps as well. So when you look on a plant label, if you're sowing seeds, look on the label to see what type of soil they grow in the best. If you can get one that has a widest range of soil types, they will be much more tolerant to a changing climate and changing conditions. They adapt really easily. So that is a really good plant to be taking on. And 9 times out of 10, they're really low maintenance as well. So you don't have to worry about them so much. You don't have to water them so much. You don't have to feed them so much, because they're so adaptable. So they're really good. So if you look out for that, that's just a little sidebar I put in there in my notes just to mention. But they're a real fail-safe. So look for plants that thrive in a wide variety of different soil types. So let me just take a drink. Hang on. Right, I need to switch my comments on. Let me put them on. Hang on. There we go. So I can see just in case. Right, before planting out new plants into your garden as well, it's a really good idea to give them a good soaking. This is good practice anyway, but if you're going into, or you're expecting drought conditions, or you're in drought conditions and you want to plant new plants out into your garden, give them a good dunk in a pot or bucket of water first till the bubbles stop. You know what I'm saying. Put the pot into the bucket of water until the bubbles stop, and then sit them out on a tray. Let the water run through, and then let it reabsorb the water that's run through. This will give them a really good start. When you plant them out into the garden, they're going to be ready, and it's going to help them tolerate the hotter temperatures and the drought in the soil already. So it's going to be a really good start for them. It will help them settle in, give them a chance to avoid stress and root damage. So that's a really good one. Really good tip for that. I've lost where I am now. Right, mulching. Where did mulching go? Mulching. Okay, mulching with organic matter. So we're talking about soil condition at the top when you did soil care. So organic matter is good for a range of different benefits for the garden. But mulching with organic matter, as I said about grass cuttings as well, when you mow the lawn, put the grass cuttings on as a green mulch, because they break down. They've got a lot of moisture content as well. They're very high moisture content. So they'll break down and then keep your soil hydrated. But mulching is a very effective way of helping the soil hold moisture, as is with conditioning the soil up as well. But just sitting on as a mulch, it's a really effective way to hold moisture and regulate soil temperature. So in drought conditions, this can be crucial to supporting the roots of your plants. As I say, if the roots aren't healthy, the plant will not be healthy. So you really have to look after the roots over anything else. If the root system is good, the plant will recover. The plant will grow back. Even if you have to cut it in half to remove a lot of the dead material or damaged material, if the root system is healthy, the plant will be fine. So you really want to look after the roots if you can. Yes, so mulching is a very effective way of helping the soil hold moisture. It will also break down over time to condition up the soil, feeding your plants, supporting the root system, supporting the ecosystem of the soil as well, which is important, as we've spoken about before. Yes, so let me have a look. What was I talking about? I scooted down the page. So as I say about green mulch, is a great way to stop moisture being evaporated as well. So like if you put the lawn cuttings and stuff, the grass cuttings on top, it's a really good way of preventing any moisture being evaporated. And as it breaks down, it'll add the moisture back into the soil as well. So it's a really good way of doing that. And they'll rot really quickly, especially when the weather's hot. So mulch also works. This is a sidebar that I haven't written down, but I'm going to say it anyway. Mulch is a really good way of preventing and what's the word? Not preventing, but like stopping weeds growing. I don't know the word. I can't think. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I mean. Stopping the weeds growing. It's like, yeah, mulching will prevent the weeds from growing up as well. And in drought conditions, weeds are plants at the end of the day, and they will take the moisture out of the soil. So you need to be getting rid of weeds as quickly as you can, because they're going to be taking the water away from your plants. Your plants need them more than the weeds do. Unfortunately, a weed is the plant in the wrong place. And during drought conditions, they're really in the wrong place and they need to be removed. So if you mulch hard, if you do a heavy mulch, like a 2-inch mulch of like grass cuttings or compost or rotting or anything like that, to hold the moisture in the soil, that will also stop the weeds growing, keeping more moisture in the soil because the weeds aren't taking it away. So hopefully that made sense. Made sense in my head. Doesn't often make sense when I speak out loud though. So making your garden more resilient to heat and drought by implementing these kind of tips and seeing how it can lead to a more beautiful and sustainable garden can really help you year after year. So yes, if you want to learn more about this, as I said at the beginning, I am doing a full training on this next Tuesday on the 20th in the National Gardens membership. So I've still got the thingy going on along the bottom, so you can see that. Hopefully you can see that. I can see that, so you know that's fine. But it will be in the comments after the show and in the description if you're watching on YouTube. So look out for those. So you can click those links. That's fine. If not, go to this one down there. So yes. So I've lost where I am now. So I think that's it for today because I've lost my notes completely. Yes, there we go. So don't forget, if you want to learn more, come to the membership. You can do that in there. That's fine. Link in the comments description. Wherever you're watching from today, if you've enjoyed the show, a little bit of a short one today, but it's so damn hot in here. I'm going to pass out in a minute. It's very hot. So it's a short one today. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give us a thumbs up wherever you're watching from. If you're watching from the YouTube channel, do the YouTube things. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe, share it with your friends, whatever you want to do. Absolutely fabulous. Comments coming through. I can't read them. That's fine. I'll reply to any comments that I see coming up in a moment when I'm off the live. That's fine because it's not cooperating with me right now. That's fine. But yes, like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Give us a thumbs up wherever you're watching from. If you've got any questions, any comments, stick them in the comments for me. I will pick them up in a moment. Yes, but I will see you in a couple of weeks now for the next episode of Natural Gardening Podcast. So have a lovely evening. Don't boil yourself too much in this hot weather. Implement some of these tips, because if they don't help you for a drought-resistant garden, they will certainly help you to save money on watering your garden and effort as well. So have a great evening. I will catch you all later. See you later.